All right, in this video, we're going to talk about, so now we've seen a, okay, in a few different cases. This a we're using here means in a place, okay? Our sentence is, I live in Japan, or I lived in Japan. So in Japan, again, we're talking about in a location, okay? So we have a, but then now we're seeing ezo, okay? And this is a really, really common question people have, and I remember, I'll never forget the day I learned it because it was finally, no one could explain it to me, and finally one teacher could, and her explanation was brilliant because it was just simple, to the point, and it worked. And that was, so we use a when we're talking about, now this is not going to work real great with the example we just saw with the sitting thing, but we use a when you're talking about the existence of something in that place. So if we use omo e isoyo, okay? But then ezo is also the exact same meaning, okay? It's a location, okay? And that's why a lot of people have the question, well, what's the difference if they're both in a location? The difference is this one is often used or is used when there is an action verb. So, for example, here. Now, this is not necessarily, a super action verb. It's not like you're doing a lot. It's just living, but it's not just talking about the existence. It's like a regular do verb, an action verb, okay? To give you a better one, so let's say 공부해요. Okay, 공부해요 meaning to study. And so let's make this into a sentence. 집에서. Okay, 집에서 공부해요 means I study at home, or contextually could mean I am studying at home right now. And so because we're using this action verb, we're going to use ezo instead of a. Okay, and that's really the difference. Ezo is used when you've got an action verb involved with it, okay, as opposed to just talking about something is there or it is here, talking about the existence of where it is, okay? So now, all that being said, our last example where we saw the attachment a was 앉아요, and you could be like, well, that's an action verb. Yes, it is, and that's actually one of the exceptions, which is when you use the verb to sit, for whatever reason, it's just using a, and it could be because once you've done the action of sitting, it's done. You're just there, not doing anything. That could be one explanation. I'm not sure. But then to go a step further, okay, as I've mentioned before, I never believe in sacrificing fluency for perfection, so I really wouldn't worry about it. And also in conversation, it's also normal. So here, 일본에서 살아요. I live in Japan. If you didn't put that all, that's actually really normal as well. Both are used and totally understandable. So again, I'm introducing this concept not because I think it's the most important thing in the world, because if you didn't use, if you use the wrong one, you're still going to be understood. It's still going to be fine. But as you get deeper into Korean, just notice that ezo is used when it's used in combination with an action verb. The person's actually doing something in that place, okay? And that's the main difference between those two.